quarterbacks this week and not 100% knowing what to do with Pratt?
Yeah, you always prepare for any possible situations. Obviously, we prepare for Pratt and fully expect him to play. And we've seen a lot of Michael Pratt for the last 2 years, and he's a really good football player, really good job at quarterback. But beyond that, each and every week, you want to prepare for the number two, number three, and how that could change up the game plan. What they might do, what we might do in those situations, how that could variate their offense, and you should get to see that a little bit last week with Houston game. What maybe they didn't do with the number two guy or number three guy, and what they did do with Pratt, and maybe they put more on his shoulders. But I think Michael Pratt will be there. I mean, he's a competitor. I think we've all seen that the last 2 years. That's one of the things that sticks out to all of us is that he's a tough guy, and he's going to compete, and he's going to be. He's taken a lot of hits over the last couple of years, and he still gets up and keeps going at it like he never got hit. So I fully expect him to be there.
This is the first time this year you've seen a true passing quarterback, which you saw the previous year. I guess in this case, previous 2 years. Does that make preparation a little easier?
Yeah, I don't know if I would tell the kid at NC State he's not a true passer, but
I
uh,
forgot to say it, but I
yeah,
was thinking Navy.
yeah. When you go back just conference wise in the last couple of games, he's certainly a true passer, and I think he was at the Manning Passing Academy camp, wherever it was this summer with Holton and those guys, and he's a special talent, special arm talent, makes really good decisions, and can throw it down the field, make any throw on the field he wants. They beat Kansas State this year with him. Should have beat Oklahoma last year with him. And beyond that, not just his arm talent. He's a tough kid that they can run the football with. And they a quarterback run game. You don't know if they'll limit that, with an injury or not. But I think what he hurt us in the past couple of years is he'll pull the ball down, scramble with it, and pick up the first down. And he's certainly capable of doing that.
Spears, the running back, at least 13 catches, does a lot of different stuff. Just how much of a weapon is he?
Tyjae Spears is a really good player. I mean, he's the real deal, and he does it all for him. Blocks in the backfield, runs a stretch play, gets out and catches the ball. Out of the backfield. Just a kid that's a lot of fun to watch unless you're preparing for him. And then when you're preparing for him, you got your hands full with him. We got to make sure we know where he's at. We got to do a great job tackling him. Maybe not as big as some of the backs that we've seen. He's listed at 195, but he plays like he's 210. He'll run through you, around you, and past you in a hurry. So. I think he's a really good football player. Cameron Carroll's the kid we saw a lot last year in the last 2 years, and was a little bit bigger. He got banged up maybe in the first game. Might be back, don't know. But Tyjae Spears has certainly been the workhorse for him, and kind of led him on a good run so far, and has done a really good job there in the backfield. And they're probably about, I think they're averaging 160 yards per game on the ground, and that's probably who they want to be first right now as far as from the head coach down. And he leads that, and they got a rotation back there, but Taji is certainly the guy.
Goal line stands are becoming a commonplace occurrence for this team.
Yeah, I got a text about that the other day. I said, the goal line stands awesome, but I wish we could let them down there. But that's a little bit of the mentality. We get backs against the wall, we got to come out and knock it back, and we've done a really good job of just forgetting about the last snap, what happened, how they got down there, whatever the situation was, and bowing our backs a little bit, and guys have just done a good job of competing down there. So it's keeping them out of the end zone, taking pride of it, and I think it's happening 4 or 5 times. The goal now is not let them down there. So we'll see about that.
Coach, all the guys talked about that just yesterday, and they said that it's all because of practicing for it. You do something special that nobody else in the country doing, or what?
No, you practice situations each and every week, whether it be goal line, whether it be red zone, whether it be third down, coming out. You probably try to put them in all the situations they could get in a ball game. And even going back to preseason camp, we practice that against our offense. So, and you change up what you're going to call down there defensively, maybe the mindset defensively of how they play the game. So you put them in those situations so they feel comfortable with it. I think Coach Houston hit the team today is you don't rise to the occasion, you follow to your training. And that's kind of where those guys are. They've trained for those situations, they prepare for those situations, and they go out and do it. They've done a great job, the players have, doing that.
For a guy like Juwan Powell, the lead guys in tackles from the cornerback position, how have you seen him grow into that role he's playing right now?
Yeah, he's played field safety for us the last couple of years, and was one of our better tacklers out there, and really come downhill and fit the run. And he's doing the same thing at corner. So just proud of him and what he's doing in the run game, and he's gotten better each game as the years went on, getting more comfortable out there at corner. I think that's still growing on him, and I think he'll get better as the season goes, and he'll feel more at home out there on the edge.
Y'all were pretty dominant in the first half against South Florida.
Yeah, I thought we came out and made some stops in the first half. Got a couple of 3-and-outs early. Forced a turnover down there, and did some really good things. And kids were playing their tails off. In the second half, you let them get a few big plays on you, and then all of a sudden they're down the field. And you can't give up big plays in this game. I mean, you get up explosives, it puts you behind. It keeps them on pace. They get the momentum. And then a few times we had the third down, get them in third downs. We let the quarterback get out of it. We have Bohannon sack back there, and he's a pretty good player and does a good job with his feet, gets out of it, and spins around for the first down a couple of times. So if we can do a better job on third down, and we try to focus on that a little bit more today in practice. We work on third downs. We work more third and medium, third and long situations, and just making sure we're doing a better job of eyes on the quarterback, doing those things, of getting it on the ground and getting off the field. So we got to take advantage of that and get off the field and get the ball back to our offense.
Seems like y'all been close to getting a number of sacks in multiple games this year. And the quarterback, obviously, y'all play both quarterbacks as part of it.
Yeah.
Like, is that something you can practice, or is it just a game?
It's tough. It really is. I mean, part of it's credit to Bohannon, the kid from Campbell, the kid from Navy. I mean, 3 athletic quarterbacks right there. So it's credit to those guys. But in practice, you're going against a scout team. And I know we talked about simulating Navy a couple of weeks ago. It's hard to simulate sacking a quarterback because you never hit the scout team quarterback because you want to give him a chance to throw the ball down the field, work your DBs. All those situations in the pass game you want to work. And now all of a sudden you're getting back there and you're just kind of letting off and stopping because that's how you work it in practice. Now you go drill it, and we have what we call chase the quarterback around drills that we put them in a box and let the kids scramble around. And we try to get there with the D-line, the linebackers, whoever may be, the blitzers, and put them in those situations. But that's hard to simulate. We much like Navy's offense is hard to simulate. Sacking a quarterback is hard to simulate because you're not going to the ground with it. And versus a pretty athletic kid, that can be tough. So we just got to keep putting ourselves in those situations. And the fact we're getting back there is a good thing. If we'll keep doing that, I think good things will happen.